Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Shatarani Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaः. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. It is my great fortune and honor to be here today and participate in this wonderful divine festival of Shri Jagannatha Baladev Subhadra Rath Yatra. तो जब हम जगन्नाथ जी का फॉर्म देखते हैं तो सबके मन में एक प्रश्न आता है कि ये फॉर्म बड़े अद्भुत है, विचित्र है, अनयूजुअल फॉर्म्स। इतनी बड़ी बड़ी आंखें, हाथ पूरे मुरझाए हुए, you can't see the hands, legs तो प्रैक्टिकली एकदम देख ही नहीं पाते। तो प्रश्न आता है कि भगवान अगर सबसे सुंदर पर्सनालिटी है तो ये अनयूजुअल फॉर्म में क्यों है? क्योंकि भौतिक दृष्टि से हम समझते हैं कि ब्यूटी मीन्स देयर मस्ट बी सिमेट्री। आप अगर एक सुंदर व्यक्ति का चेहरा देखते हैं तो देयर इज वंडरफुल सिमेट्री, लाइक नोज, ईयर्स, एवरीथिंग is symmetrical. But here we see the Supreme Lord, क्या है उनका? Everything is asymmetrical. आंखें इतनी बड़ी, हाथ अंदर ऐसे, पैर दिख नहीं रहे. So, okay. So I've been requested to speak in English because there are people also from the West here. Huh? Mix? I'll get confused. Okay, English. So, what is the reason for this form? So, His Holiness Jagannatha Maharaj ji, अपनी autobiography में एक incident he shares that he hitchhiked all the way from the US. He was only 19 years old and he came all the way to Vrindavan to find God. And in Vrindavan, what happens? You mostly see Radha Krishna deities. You don't see much Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra deities. So when he was there in Vrindavan, he only saw Radha Krishna deities. Then when he went to the West, and then he saw ISKCON devotees worshipping Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. So उनको लगा ये these hippies have created this psychedelic form, है ना? They have created this psychedelic form of the Lord, और उनके सामने, they're jumping up and down and chanting. So it is the creation of the hippies. This form is the creation of the hippies. But is that true? Huh? Is this the form? You know the story about Lord Jagannath? So there are many stories related to the appearance of Lord Jagannath. So I'll share in brief 2-3 stories with you today. So long time ago, way in Satyuga, thousands and thousands of years ago, there was a king called Indradumna. And not only was he a good king, but he was a great devotee. And he heard that there was one avatar of Lord Vishnu in the form of Neela Madhav. So there was a deity in the form of, the name was Neela Madhav. And he had an intense desire to worship that deity. So he sent all his brahmanas in his kingdom. He says, you go and you find this deity for me. So then everyone went, and everyone came back unsuccessful except one Brahmin who didn't come back at all. His name was Vidyapati. So he wandered away, and many years he didn't come back. He got married. His wife's name was Lalita. And then one day, he noticed that his father-in-law, his name was Vishvasu, that he would go disappear in the night and then come back later during the day, next day. So every day he would go somewhere in the night. And he started to wonder, where does he go? And then they found out that he's actually going to worship this deity Neela Madhav. But no one knew where he would go. So then they requested him, and he requested him to please allow him to see the deity. And he said that, okay, I will take you, but I will make you blindfolded. So, aankhon mein patti bana. So he took him with his wife. Now his wife was very smart. What she did was, she took some mustard seeds with her, and on the way she kept dropping the mustard seeds. So, why did she do that? To make a trail. Very good. What's your name, Nita? Ahana. Very nice. You're listening attentively. So all the children listen attentively. I'm going to ask you, there'll be a quiz at the end of this. Okay? So do yourself. So then, what happened? That they reached and they got darshan of the deity. And then they came back. And what happened was that when Vidyapati went to tell the king that, now he knows where the deity is, then the king went to go and find the deity. But no matter how much they tried, they couldn't find the deity. So the king became very morose, and he thought that he would end his life. So as he was thinking, one night he had a dream. And in the dream, what happened? The Lord appeared. So the Lord appeared and told him that don't become disheartened. Ab nirash mat ho, I will appear to you in this form of Daru Brahma, in the form of wooden log. And so what happened? He says, then the king, what he started doing in anticipation of the Lord's appearance, he started building this temple. And this temple is built where? The same place where Jagannath Puri, the temple is. And then he prayed to Lord Brahma to please invite the Lord to appear. And Brahmaji said, I don't have the strength, but I will give you my blessings. And Brahmaji, what he did was, he put a flag over there. And he said that whoever takes darshan of this flag and offers pranam to the flag will attain liberation from this material world. So then for a long time the deity never appeared. And the king became more and more anxious and disheartened. And again he thought that it's not worth living anymore. The Lord's not appearing. And again he had a dream that the Lord would appear in the sea, right, in the form of a big log, and he would have all the markings of Lord Vishnu. So do you know the 4 markings of Lord Vishnu? Do you all know? Any of the children? Yes. What are the 4 markings? Yes, very nice. Very good. So then what they did was, they became very happy, they got this log, and then they tried to carve the Lord's form out of the log. But there was one big challenge. No matter how much the carpenters they tried to chisel that log, the chisels would break because the log was so hard. So just imagine, after so long the log appeared. Now the log has appeared, it's become so heavy, they're not able to move it, they're not able to chisel it. So then again the king becomes disheartened. Then what happens? Then Vishwakarma appears. And he says, don't worry, I will make a wonderful deity out of this log. I will carve out these wonderful deities. But on one condition, that I will be in a room secluded and no one is to come here for the next 21 days. Okay. But if anyone interrupts me in the middle of this service, then I will leave this incomplete. So then what happens? Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, anxiety is building. Now, especially the king's wife. Her name is what? Gundicha. Now she is getting more and more anxious. And on the 14th day, she can't hold herself. And then she goes into that room. And as soon as she goes into the room, what happens? There are these 3 wonderful deities of the Lord. But they are not completed yet. And what does Vishwakarma do? He disappears. Now what happens? Now the deities are left in this incomplete form that we all see now. So again the king becomes morose. So imagine, he has been so eager to serve the deity, and after so long again, what happens? So much disappointment because now these forms are incomplete. So then again the Lord appears, and then he tells the king that this is the form I desire to be worshipped in Kali Yuga. So this is the Lord's desire to be worshipped in this form. Now you can say, one question will come to everyone's mind, that why did the Lord have the desire to be worshipped in this form? There's so many wonderful forms of the Lord. So why this incomplete form? What is the reason behind this type of a form? Now in the Skanda Purana, there is a second explanation. So now in one step we go deeper. Right? What is the rahasya? What is the secret behind the Lord having this type of a form? So it is explained that when Krishna was in Dwarka, when he left Vrindavan, when he left his very intimate associates, his parents, his friends, the gopis, the cows, he left all of them to go where? To Dwarka. He was a king, he had many wives. Does anyone know how many wives he had? How many wives? 8. Okay, 8 principal wives. But total wives? 108. You're getting closer. 1008. You're getting closer. 16,108 wives. Ooh, can you imagine? Especially the males can't imagine. Huh? So now, He was a big king with all these queens, but he was missing whom? Who was he missing? He was missing Raja Rani and all his other associates, like the gopis, his friends. Yes. So one day, what happened was, all the queens, they wanted to know Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. And they approached who? They approached Rohini. And they said, please narrate the pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan. So Rohini said, yes, I will do that, but on one condition. That Krishna and Balaram, they cannot be part of this narration. So they have to be kept outside. So then Rohini said, Subhadra, you stay outside and you make sure that this gate remains closed and Krishna and Balaram don't come into this hall. Then she starts narrating these pastimes of the Lord. And as she's narrating, what happens? Krishna and Balaram, they find their way outside the hall. Now, Subhadra is outside, she's keeping the gate closed. So both Krishna and Balaram, what they do? They put their ears to the door. There's a little hole, and they start hearing the pastimes. And as they're hearing the pastimes of the exchanges between Krishna and all the Brajvasis, Krishna starts to feel, and Balaramji also, they start to feel so much separation from the gopis, from the sakhas, from his parents. What happens? In great ecstasy of separation, their eyes become big, their hands go inside, tears come out of their eyes. They go into great ecstasy, their arms and legs, they all shrink inside. And they have a big smile and their eyes become big. So this form is a very, very confidential form of the Lord, indicating God's great and deep love for his dear devotees, especially the gopis and Srimati Radha. That how much separation Krishna had, he's such a great king. He has everything. So many palaces, so many queens, everything under his control. But yet Krishna is feeling separation. He's feeling separation from the Brajvasis, and especially Srimati Radharani and the gopis. So this is an ecstatic viraha form, Radha viraha form of Krishna. And there is a deeper meaning. The more we study, there are many levels of meaning to this pastime of the Lord in the form of Lord Jagannatha. And this Rath Yatra that we just did, right, we pulled the Lord. So there is a very, very deep meaning behind pulling the chariot. So the Lord, feeling great separation, he decided to go to Kurukshetra during a solar eclipse. So from Dwarka, Balaram, Subhadraji, Krishna, they all got on the chariot and they started heading towards Kurukshetra. And in Kurukshetra, they wanted to take a sacred bath. So many, many people came during the time of the solar eclipse. And guess who also came to Kurukshetra? Guess who came? Yes, all the gopis, all the Brajvasis, they came to Kurukshetra. They hadn't seen Krishna for almost 100 years. Yes. Krishna had been away as a king for 100 years. So they were meeting after a long, long time. So you can imagine when two people, or when they love each other so intensely, they meet after such a long time. Can we imagine how they felt? And what did they want to do? What did they want to do? What do you think they wanted to do? Children, when the Vrajvasis, they saw Krishna, what did they want to do? Huh? I want to hear from this side.
Go to Vrindavan.
So they wanted to take Krishna with them? And they were there? Suppose you found like your little brother, right? After a long time, your kid brother. And what would you want to do with him after you saw him after a long time? Huh? Hug him, yes. And what else? Suppose he was lost and you found him after a long time. You met him in this mall, right? What would you want to do? Would you want to leave him in that mall? Huh? What would you want to do with him?
Take him.
Yeah, take him home. So they wanted to take Krishna where? Back home to Vrindavan. So this pulling of the Rath is actually what? The Vrajvasis actually, they're taking Krishna back home to Vrindavan. So now you can say, okay, the Vrajvasis can do that, but what about us mortal souls? So what mood should we pull the Rath? What would you want to do? Would you want Krishna to go back to Dwarka, or would you want to take Krishna or assist the gopis in taking Krishna back to Vrindavan? How many of you want to take Krishna back to Vrindavan? You want to help the gopis? Huh? All of you. No one wants to take him back to Dwarka? You don't want to help the queens take Krishna back to Dwarka? Only one or two. So yes, you are in the right spirit. The real spirit is that we are assisting the Vrajvasis in pulling the Rath of Krishna back to Vrindavan. So this is a very, very deep meaning. So this is celebrated in a big way in Jagannatha Puri. And when Lord Chaitanya was there, he started the celebration of Jagannatha Puri in a grand way. If you really want to study the meaning and how the celebration takes place, you should read about how Lord Chaitanya and his associates, they celebrated Rath Yatra. And you will understand so many layers of deeper and deeper meaning behind this Rath Yatra. So how many of you will you study this? Will you study this pastime of Lord Chaitanya and the Rath Yatra? This is the homework for the next Rath Yatra. Huh? Next year's Rath Yatra, you must know how Lord Chaitanya and his associates, they celebrated Rath Yatra. So next year when you're here, you will celebrate in such a deep and ecstatic way. So this is the homework. If you do this homework, we will bring Jagannath ji back here. Yes? So I'm happy that all of you have agreed. And I'd just like to end with one small little pastime. So when this Rath Yatra took place, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there, that time the king of Orissa, his name was Maharaj Pratap. And he was also a great devotee of the Lord. and he was very attracted to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So after the Rath Yatra, when the Lord, he had danced for many hours, he felt very tired and he went to rest in the garden. And all the devotees, they told the king that now you take off your king's dress, you dress like a simple devotee, and you go and massage the Lord's feet. So the king, on the request of the devotees, he went into the garden and he started massaging the Lord's feet. And as he was doing, he started singing the Gopi Geet for the pleasure of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard the Gopi Geet, he fell into great ecstasy. And then he got up and he said, "My God, you are such a great personality. You are so merciful. You are so munificent. Bhurida Jana, Bhurida Jana." Lord Chaitanya started telling the king. But Lord Chaitanya said, "Okay, but who are you? Who are you? That you're bestowing so much mercy. Please tell me, please introduce yourself." Now listen very carefully what the king replied. "Raja kohe ami tumar dasen anudas." Raja kohe ami tumar dasen anudas. Raja kohe ami tumar dasen anudas. Raja kohe ami tumar dasen anudas. Tera इसका क्या मतलब? वृत्तेर वृत्त करो यही हमारा आश। राजा ने क्या इंट्रोडक्शन दी कि मैं प्रभु क्या हूं? मैं आपका दास का दास हूं, दास का दास का दास, दास अनुदास, अनुदास। हाँ, सो ये राजा का मूड था और उसके चलते क्या हुआ? राजा को भगवान की कृपा मिली। सो कितने आप जगन्नाथ जी की कृपा चाहते हैं? तो कौन से हमें मूड में आना पड़ेगा? Am I a big CEO? Am I a big housewife? Am I a big student? What am I? Yes, we want to be the servant of the servant of the servant of their lordships. Okay, so this is the real essence of Rath Yatra. In the mood of the servant, we are assisting the Vrajvasis to take Krishna back home, back to Vrindavan. And by doing that, Krishna will enter our hearts. Because we are serving the most confidential devotees of Krishna. Okay? So thank you all very much for coming together today, for participating so enthusiastically. Right? So,
you can do some past tense.
we will have
complete the rest and study.
So we have many nice kirtaniyas here. They're all young students. They're all 17, 18, 19 years old. Some even younger. Where's Chaitanya? She's only 10 years old. Where's Nimai? Where's Nimai?
Nimai is gone out to play.
Why? Call him.
Ask them to keep the children.
So last year, I'll tell you how this Rath Yatra started here. Okay, in Fresco. So there's one little boy called Nitai. Last year he was 9 years old and he got after his parents. He says, Papa, I'm going to make a Rath banao. I want to do a big Rath Yatra. So parents said, you already have a small Rath. So he says, no, I want to make a bigger Rath this time and I want to take my deities for a Yatra. तो हम लोग रहते हैं कहाँ पे? निर्वाणा में. निर्वाणा Aspen Green. तो वहाँ पे they don't allow procession. So निमाई के जो मामू हैं वो यहाँ पे रह रहे थे till last year. तो उन्होंने मामू को फोन किया, मामू प्लीज मैं यहाँ रथ यात्रा हो सकती है क्या? तो मामू ने सुनीता माता जी को फोन किया कि माता जी हम लोग यहाँ रथ यात्रा मना सकते हैं. तो फिर सुनीता माता जी ने पता नहीं किसको फोन किया यहाँ पे मेंबर्स को, मैनेजमेंट को फोन किया. एंड such a pious management you have, right? So Hari Bol. So उन्होंने अलाउ कर दिया. तो निमाई जी ने अपने क्या किया? उन्होंने उससे अपने दोस्तों को फोन किया, सब आ जाओ. He doesn't know, he knows very few people in Fresco. So he called all his devotee friends and we called our friends. And then we came here, right? And we had this rath made in 2 or 3 days. तब हमारे घर का काम चल रहा था. So we told our carpenters, okay, आप ये रथ बनाओ. So किसी तरह हमने फोटो दे के ये रथ बनवाया और एक रात पहले इसका पूरा पेंट किया. पेंट भी गीला था. रथ के समय जब हम आए, जब उसको हम टच कर रहे थे तो पेंट भी थोड़ा निकल रहा था. लेकिन रथ यात्रा बहुत अच्छे से मना ली हमने लास्ट में. तो फिर सुनीता माता जी ने बोला कि सबको बहुत अच्छा लगा यहाँ आपने यहाँ रथ यात्रा मनाई. Everyone really enjoyed. This time we want to make it even bigger. So by your enthusiasm, by your great support, your team members here, which Bahini Mataji, Vraj Rasika Mataji, will explain and give her thanks a little later. So, by all your cooperation, we've had this opportunity to have this wonderful festival today. And I'm very, very grateful to each one of you, all the residents of Fresco, the management here, for allowing us to come and have this wonderful festival in your presence. So thank you all very much. And now we will do a wonderful kirtan in front of Lord Jagannatha ji. Here the AC is on, so you all have to participate very enthusiastically, because by this kirtan, the Lord will purify us and enter our hearts. Nam Chintamani Krishna, Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, Purna Shuddha. It is Nitya and it is Purna, complete. Shuddha, Abhinatya Nami Namana. There's no difference between God and His name. And in this Kali Yuge Nam Rupe Krishna Avatar. Nam hoite hobe sarva jagata nishta. So ये नाम के द्वारा हम क्या करते हैं? भगवान को ग्लोरीफाई करते हैं. हम ये जो नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ ये कलियुग के लिए है. सर्व पाप प्रणाशनम भागवतम कहता है. सो प्लीज आप बहुत उत्साह से आप कीर्तन में पार्टिसिपेट करें. चैतन्य प्रभु, one beautiful standing dancing kirtan for everyone. So thank you all very much.